I'm gonna start wrapping the rear bumper. There's gonna need to be an inlay, which is a separate piece of vinyl inside of here, because the vinyl can only stretch one or two directions. When you have it stretched out and laid flat here, by the time you come down in here and then go in here at the same time, you're gonna get a bunch of creases and stuff. So we're gonna put an inlay in right here. I'm gonna try to do that with Knifeless tape. Also, we're gonna do two separate pieces because this edge over here will get really bunched up and we'll have to put a really big stretch on it if we try to do this in one piece. So what I'm gonna do is Knifeless tape line right here to where we can do this top section separate and then have this a separate piece. So yeah, I just figured out how to do this specific 240 coupe bumper, just in case you're doing it on your own. I've already started to prep it. I got a lot of the loose paint off, but some of it's still stuck on there. So I'm just gonna do a quick sand. We'll get to start wrapping and then we'll prep it with the alcohol and wax and grease remover, and then we'll go from there. I got it all cleaned up. I wanna show where I'm gonna put this design line in the inlay here. When you do this main piece on the top, it will fold over after you heat it up and you press it in. It will fold over probably about an eighth or a quarter inch from what I've seen. So I want to go right up to here with the design line. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. That way when we put the inlay in, we can cut it from the Knifeless tape, and then it will be in a perfect spot right there all the way around. When you do this Knifeless tape, you want to leave like 6 inches on the end of wherever your line is at, because you need enough room to get a good handle on the string that's in it. And I'll show that in a second too. I'll try to get a good video of it because it was kind of rough figuring it out at first. So I'm just going to start with this line right here. Then I'm going to go over to this other side. When you do these overlapping each other, you need to remember which one you laid first and second. I laid this one first just because that's the way that the camera was angled, just so I could show this one first. Then I came around here, and then came down, and then left it off right here. Now, when we lay this big piece over the top, this section right here will be able to drop in when we relief cut it. We just need to make sure to not relief cut too much on this side, so just leave as much as we can on the other side so that it will drop in and then we don't have to do a fill right here. All right, so I just started it right here on this flat surface, and then I'm gonna roll it around as best as I can. I hope my hands don't get in the way too much. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to keep it flat into the corner and then roll it around as much as we can. Okay, so that's pretty straight and it's not gonna make the curve over here. So I'm actually gonna cut this and do a separate piece in here. Just wanna get it flat as much as possible. And we can go ahead and make our relief cut. The Knifeless tape's gonna make it nice at the end. And I'm gonna get the heat gun out in just a second. Just wanna get this all flat really quick. Make sure you press the vinyl over the Knifeless tape like this. And you get a little bit of heat in the corner. You can start to roll it over. We have our Knifeless tape on the inside, so this doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get it out of the way for now. Now we did that top piece first, so I've got to take the one that we did this way first. I gotta do that one. It's got the string in it, which is kind of hard to see. After you pull the string back, you hold the whole thing with your thumb right here. And then if you have enough tension on the string, just like that, this string will pull out on its own. We want to hold the tape behind the string too to help it stay down. And you pull it up. And then there's going to be both sides of the green tape are going to be there. You just got to make sure to get both sides of the green tape out when you're all done. So if you just grab both, come all the way around, and then take the heat gun really quick just to lock it in. Boom. Now we can do the other one. I have a lot more access on this one, so I'm going to start with this, make it a little easier. It took me a little bit to figure out this knifeless tape, even after watching videos, so I just figured I'd try to help someone out. I just like to press on wherever the edge is at, just so that you can see it, and just run the knife along it. Oh, and there's our inlay. I'm going to end up putting this on the car to do the big piece so that I have foundation to get the stretch on it. I'm going to get this prepped as far as getting this line ready, because this top piece here that we're going to do as a separate piece, I'm going to do the knifeless tape right here. So I'm going to get that ready, and then I'm going to put the bumper on the car, and then we can get going on the big sections. All right, so there we are. Got our tape down, pretty nice and straight. And yeah, if you've ever tried to wrap anything on your own, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the best I can explain it, when you have multiple, if we lay this flat and it wants to go this way, then it wants to go this way, but then it also has to make this curve. I bet professionals can do it pretty easy, but what happens when you're going that many different directions is you have to stretch the vinyl really far, and it just ends up being a mess when you're not very experienced. So this might actually be the way that the pro does it too. I'm not sure, but this is definitely gonna work out. That way we can lay this one flat and then this one flat, and then we should be good to go. All right, so all we're trying to do is get this middle section flat really quick, and then we can heat it up and then go around the edges after. But we need to start with getting this middle all nice and flat. this flat really quick. All right, now that is a perfect starting base for what we're about to do next. Now, I need to grab the heat gun. Now we're gonna heat this corner up so we can make this, so that we make the curve, and we'll see how far it'll stretch. Get all the way into this corner here, this nice line that we're working off of, and then we can go up and down. So we can see our line right there, that's all we're trying to get to. But I think this is a good starting spot. I need to just heat it up a little bit to get this corner in here. I'm gonna try to relief cut this now. So that I can see what I'm doing a little better. This is how I've been cutting the vinyl. I've just been putting the big roll in front of the car. I waited to do the hood. I mean, I've already done the hood, but I waited to do the roof. That way the vinyl didn't get scratched up and everything. But the plastic that's on top of the vinyl when you get it doesn't really scratch too much from what I've seen, but you might want to wait if you're gonna do your layouts like this. You might want to wait to do the hood also. But anyways, yeah, I just pull it up and over the hood, and then I use the magnets to tack it down on the top right here. That way I can measure it out and then see, that way it's not on the floor getting really dirty and stuff. But I just cut the piece for the bottom half of the bumper and see if I can lay it out. I forgot to mention, I did lay another piece of knifeless tape right here for the cut on this one. I did it right over the top of the white vinyl that we just laid down. So So just right over the top of it. I'm not going to try to butt them up again on this one because I don't trust it. So I'm just going to go right over the top of it a little bit. Now that I think of it, probably would have been better to do the bottom piece first and then lay this over the top. But either way. So this is looking pretty good so far. I got this top half is all nice and glassed out, as they call it. So I got this top section to work with. I'm gonna leave this bottom section loose and I'm gonna start working from this line down. And yeah, it's already looking pretty good. It's going easier than the top half already. To get into where our other inlay is, we're gonna heat this up and then we're gonna run our thumb across here and stretch it in. All right, it's the next day, but I did end up getting the rear bumper done. I ended up getting bunched up right here in the corner because I didn't want to make this corner and go down at the same time. So I ended up doing a fill piece right there, which isn't too great, but kind of hard to see. It's underneath. And then same thing on this side. I ended up having to do a separate piece in this corner. Yeah, because when I went to stretch it into the corner right here, it got really bunched up. Ended up getting it done. Doesn't look too bad. And just did the seam right here and then down. So still looks cool. Yeah, eventually I'm gonna get to assemble everything and then the grand finale of seeing it all in one piece, and looking forward to it.